you were talking about your programs, and I remember some of your programs. I actually was in one of your programs, but some
More
of
than
them,
one, I think. Maybe I only remember
possibly,
one.
but the one I remember was when we did the Jim Morrison and Rimbaud.
Oh yeah, okay.
How we went to a university to do that, or
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, we did. That's the Community College of Philadelphia. Yeah.
And I particularly remember the Lorca program because Emiliano Martin was involved with that.
Yeah.
I've seen your Poe program more than a couple of times. You had Gene Shea come to talk about Bob Dylan, which was, to this day, I was like, how did Pete Krok get Gene Shea to come? That was amazing. That was the thing that I always liked about what you did and what the MAC offered. They were more than just poetry readings sometimes.
Yeah, that's always been my goal.
Interesting, in-depth about some of the writers and musicians. And
yeah, that was always my goal. I wanted to have things that were interesting to me and interesting to others. I just found it was more attractive. I liked it more, and I think the average person that isn't a poetry reader might enjoy them more too. The general populace, you might say. And I had a program, you talked about Edgar Allan Poe. I had a program on Edgar Allan Poe like from 1990 until 2005 or 2006. I had a program around Halloween. Every year I had a program on Edgar Allan Poe. Finally I thought, I've been Poe'd out.
But it was a great run.
Yeah, it was a great run. And I had somebody who used to imitate, who was a character like Poe, and that helped. And I could probably do Poe again now because it's been quite a few years since I did Poe in the past.
Yeah, I remember that knock at the back door, and Pete would be at the, well, I wonder who that could be. And Edgar comes walking in. I mean, it was just great fun.
It was a lot of fun. I had the right people to work with, and we always used to have like a little bit of humor or whatever, surprise.
A little theater.
Yeah, theater. Okay, call it theater. No, we always had that. We talked about the journal, and I think I'm remiss and not saying how fortunate, and a lot of it is through serendipity, with the staff that has developed at the Art Center. Like Fran Metzman has been involved with the Art Center since 2003. She was the first fiction editor and the only fiction editor, and the various poetry editors that I've been really lucky to have. The Mark Danowski, Mike Cohen, the new graphic designer, Ed Hart, the photographer, Ron Howard. I mean, there's so many other people that got involved with the journal that I've been so fortunate to work with. So in a lot of ways, I might have mentioned this earlier, but I kind of consider it a blessing that I've had these people to work with, and that I continue to work with these people. And Edward Scott Anderson has really been a great contributor lately, and this guy, Eric Kreinke. So I've been fortunate to work with some other people that I've gotten to know, which is really one of the real pleasures, getting to know other people.
How about if we finish up with some poems? I know you got some things you'd like to read, and we can bring it home with poems.
That'd be fine. I appreciate it. This one poem is about something that just kind of developed in its own little way, and it's not usual for me to write a poem about food. But this is a word, and it's food, and it's called Plinkies. It's a word no one's heard of, a sound with its own private room in the home of my mind. On the meatless day, Friday, Mom made Plinkies. I'd grate the potatoes on the yellow kitchen table, peel out the eyes and brown spots. I'd scrape until there was the smallest piece, about the size of a half-used bar of soap. Often I'd scrape my knuckles against the sharp edges of the grater, and blood would ooze into the soupy batch. Yes, my blood would seep into the bowl, and I think a part of me is here. Mom would mix 2 eggs and flour in the batter to give the mixture body, put Wesson oil in the pan, heat the pan until it sizzled, then pour the potato mix into the pan. When she thought the underside was rusty brown, she turned the potato pancakes over, then put them on a plate. I'd sprinkle sugar when I was younger, and the salt when I got older. Yes, my blood is back there in the kitchen of that red brick row house. For me, it keeps seeping into my words until no one will remember. We all know that time will not last. Yes, I asked others if they were familiar with the word, but no one else knows. I've got a daughter and grandchildren that live in Montana, and my wife is there right now. And when you're in a plane, it's always a very reflective time. You know, you're going from one place to another place. It's just a very reflective time. And this is while leaving the blue sky of Montana. They de-ice the wings. The plane taxis on the runway. I'm leaving Billings. The many homes. The 100,000 breaths down there. Leaving the city around the rim. Several rows down the aisle. The overhead lights halo of woman's silver hair. A new day is getting ready. The teachers rising, the many beds lifting their covers, the coffee makers turning on, the mechanics getting in their Chevy pickups, placing their metal-lined cups into the cup holders, grocery employees walking the aisle, stocking the shelves while listening to their iPhones, the bowls of Cheerios on the kitchen tables, children hurrying their spoons, the yellow school bus opening their doors, ready to pick up those who will come after. We're flying 30,000 feet above it all. My wife and I are heading back east, where we say our Father, the red brick row house in Philadelphia, the place where we raised our children, the place where the dust of our parents and our son lies. Here we are suspended in this flight. What would it be if we never landed? If we just kept circling and circling and watching what goes on below? I rest my head against my palm, the dotted lights like white periods.
Pete,
Bye.
thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
This was a
Steve.
lot of fun.
Little things mean a lot.